Let me go on YouTube and look at it.
Yeah. Shalom. Testing. Trying to make sure the audio is good.
My
Test.
stuff.
Dang. Look like it's tripping.
Descriptions. Stuff loading slow, man. I see your stuff part up. Let me see how it's Yeah, you good.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechachodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching 100% truth. Wa Barakathum to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. May peace and blessing be unto your households. It's your brother Salai. It's your brother Gadal, along the side with, brother Warga. And in this Sunday sit down, we're going to get into pretty much finish what you started, right? Finishing what you started. Ultimately, enduring into the end. All right, because that's the goal, right? The goal is to ultimately endure into the end. We know what scripture says on that, and we are going to get it, you know, because if you don't endure to the end, what happens? Oh, you're looked at as worse than the 2/3, according to Ezekiel chapter 18 and verse 20, if I'm not mistaken. How it goes into when a righteous man turneth from his righteousness and does iniquity, shall he live? Nah, you're not gonna live, and then your work's gonna be forgotten. It says that same thing in that same verse. But we can go ahead and get into that Matthew that I'm about to quote since I was speaking about it. We're gonna go ahead and start off with that. Let me see if it's up here. It should be up here. Satan. All right, there it goes. All right. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 13. And as you see in red letter, so these are the words of Yahweh Shah. It says, but he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So that's the goal. Finishing what we started, enduring until the end. Them are the same ones that's going to be saved, the ones that endure to the end. And this truth meaning, not just enduring, oh, I'm just trying to survive, but you ain't serving Yahweh by Shem Shah. No, you got to be serving the Lord in the midst of all that. I mean, all this time, right? And if you continue to do that all the way until the end, keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, all right? Even with death present itself, even if it costs your life, guess what, man? You're going to be saved, right? Because no matter what, you win in the end. Because what does Satan go? To knock you out the truth. If the Satan knocks you out the truth, that's when you lost. It's not you messing up, lose. It's not you when you fall or you sin against the Lord. That's not you losing. You losing is you falling out the truth. Because once you fall out the truth, man, we know what Hebrews says about that. When someone has been enlightened, you cannot be enlightened once again. Once you already got that taste of it, you can't get that taste back again. So, yeah. So the goal is to endure to the end, finish what you started, right? And then,
I'm
um,
about to make a point.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Now I was gonna say, because as a priest going to endure to the end, because as he's gonna read this Luke, we've been given a work from Yahweh Bashma Shai to do. We've been given a task. The scriptures liken it unto like it's gonna go into building a house. When you think about construction, we've been given construction, or let me rephrase it, we've been given instructions, right, on the job that we gotta or the task that we have to do and to complete it. And we don't get paid unless we complete the task. It ain't like Esau shit. You get half pay. You only worked on half the task, so you get half the pay. Nah, it's like with the Lord, He gave you a particular task, and if you complete the task, that's when you get your reward, your pay. But if you don't complete the task, I don't give a damn if you got the 99% of the task. You fell out at the last minute. You didn't complete the task. You don't receive the reward. And going to the title, we finish what we started. We want to receive that reward, man. But in order for us to receive that reward, we must finish what we've been given. So I read that Luke for you, if you don't mind. Damn that.
Got
But I read
it.
Luke for you.
You got it.
Hey, this is Luke chapter 14, verse 28. This is red letter. This is Yahweh Shah speaking. Right. And it says, For which of you intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish it.
So as it says in the beginning, for which of you intending to build a tower, sit it not down first and count the cost, because um that would the Lord, that was what the Lord would want, right? He would want for you to basically at least think about it first, and don't just be so quick to jump in, right? You be so quick to jump in and then you jumped out. Now you're worse than a 2/3, right? No, it's just better, because I know scriptures goes into how it just be better if you just never came in the first place, right?
Yeah.
You'll just be a normal 2/3. Now we ain't saying like, oh yeah, just do that, but that's better, right? Because if you don't count the cost, meaning you don't look, not like, if you don't come into this thing, this truth, this ministry, knowing what's like, what can happen to you, what's expected of you, then of course you're gonna fall out, right? Of course you're gonna fall out. You gotta, hey, you can read Sirach, the second chapter, the first verse. Sirach 2:1. If ye come to serve me, prepare thyself in temptation. So the Lord, it's not like the Lord and don't warn you about what's gonna happen when you start serving him, right? He tells you like, okay, once you start serving me, hey man, you finna start going through it. All right, matter of fact, let me get that in Isaiah 59. I think it's 15. I know it's in 59 for sure. Yep. This is Isaiah chapter 59 to verse 15. It says, "Yeah, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey, and Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment." So when you depart from evil, because once you start serving the Lord, you're going to start departing from evil. Meaning you're going to stop eating that pork. You're going to stop smoking. Now, I ain't saying it's going to happen right away, but it's a process of you doing it. So you're going to start doing them things. And guess what? Satan's going to take note of that. Oh, okay. Right? The Satan's gonna be looking now. What? You done made you're made a prey for Satan, right? So now Satan's gonna start, doing things within your life that the Lord allows to ultimately knock you out the truth. I'm gonna go ahead. If you ain't got nothing, I'm gonna go ahead and get this. If you ain't got nothing to war good.
Now I was gonna say, what I'm saying, because what you see with what the Lord's trying to see is if you're gonna have that integrity of Job, ultimately that integrity of Yahweh Shai, because he's the example, but had that integrity of Job. Job said, though the Lord slay me, I maintain my ways before thee. You see, so that's the mindset we gotta be in. In order for us to finish this work, the Lord told you it's gonna be a straight gate. It's gonna be a difficult job task that I'm giving you. Like we're reading in this Luke, like we read in Luke 14:28. I'm saying? Sit us not down first. I'm saying? Think about it. Consider what you finna be a part of, what you finna do. This ain't just when you go put in a job application, you should, if proper man, you should do your due diligence. Kind of look into the job more. You probably ask particular questions. What's the pay like? You ain't going to no job like that. I thought I was gonna get 20. I didn't think I was gonna get 10. Nah, yeah, I'm getting 20 because you're doing your due diligence. That's the Lord saying, like, hey, before you, you know what I'm saying? Before you decide to serve me, what I'm saying? Consider what's going to be come of it. Consider what is it apart. And really, at the end of the day, it's all according to the Lord. If He put upon your spirit to come under the subservience of Him and to be obedient to the end, because the elect they will come to the subservience of the Lord and they will be obedient to the end, and they're going to count the cost, pretty much. But you got it out.
Yeah, kind of beautifully said. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this Luke. It's like Luke chapter 22, verse 31. It says, "And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desire to have you, that he may shift you as wheat." And that word shift goes into agitation of one mind to the verge of overthrow. So, in other words, you're gonna be dealing with Satan, right? You come into the truth. That's bro. You're gonna be dealing with Satan like like no other. Ultimately, right? Now you're not finna go through some things that like, oh man, like no one has ever went through. Nah, the Lord's gonna, Lord's gonna put stuff on it that's, damn, what's that scripture? Um
He gonna put something on you that you could bear,
not that
and
one.
with the temptation
Common to
might be able
man.
to escape.
The common to man. Uh Tribulation is common to man, something like that.
Yeah, that's the one. It said he's not gonna. Pretty much, he said there's no temptation that he had put upon you is not common. That's the scripture you're talking about, though. Let me get it.
Yeah, Baba Kasha.
Trying to
Yeah.
look for it.
Because Lord, he's not gonna put us through things that's like things that are just out of this world. Like, oh man, just a demon just kind of floated in. I have to battle it. No, it's gonna be like you getting a flat tire or something, just like everybody else. The only thing is, it might mess around and just be harder to fix that flat tire, or it just might happen more it might happen more often because Satan's fucking with us. But did you end up finding it, or are you still looking?
Yeah, I'm actually in the chapter right now. It's First Corinthians 10, and yeah, First Corinthians 10 and 13. I read it.
Okay, I'm
It's
pulling it up.
First Corinthians 10 and 13. It says that there have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to men, as you were saying. But you got it though. It's like you said, I'm reading from the top. First Corinthians 10 and 13.
Mhm.
There have no temptation taken you, but such as common to men.
Okay, so as it says in the beginning, no temptation take you that but such is common to man. Meaning that it's gonna the things that you're gonna go through within this truth. This is really something that average Jake go through. Just the only thing is we have to deal with Satan more in our minds, or it's just it'll be more common because Satan he could hop on people. He could hop on not even just people. He could hop on like objects, street lights. You pull up to a street light, that whole red longer than usual, or whatever. Or like your car, man. You keep getting a flat tire, and it mess around be the same tire that keep getting flat. You be like, damn, what the hell, right? Them are things, them are temptation that's gonna be that's common to man. Meaning it's gonna be like something that anybody really can go through. It is since Satan's messing with us, since Satan got a target on our backs. I mean, since we got a target on our backs, guess what? Satan's gonna be doing little things, and it's gonna be more common. It's just that's just how it is when it comes in the truth. Because as the Apostle Gabar says, what do you come to the truth to? To suffer, right? And my family just go ahead and let you read this whole thing since we already got it. You might as well read the whole thing.
Yeah, I just want to add a quick point, because like you're saying that, like the priest saying, Satan pretty much when it comes to the elect, lo and be those men, he strategically has a game plan because as the priest read in that Luke, what was that, Luke 22?
Yeah, 22:31.
Yeah, 22, he said that Satan desired to sift thee, and that word sift in the Greek is siniazo, which goes into pretty much to agitate one's face. So yeah, we go through particular things, but the difference between what the elect go through and what the rest of the nation go through is that what it's similar, but a Satan he has a different way of doing it towards us because he's trying to agitate our faith. We
Yes.
gonna get a flat tire, but like the priest said, it's the Lord. I mean, Satan. It's a certain way he's gonna do it. You're gonna get a flat tire, but he gonna give you a flat tire, but it's gonna be the worst time to get it. Whereas he gave a nigga a flat tire, and this is this nigga day off. You know what I'm saying? He off for a week. He got a flat tire, and he just got lucky because he got a new car all of a sudden. But you get a flat tire, and you like, damn, I really need to go to work today. It's gonna be something that's gonna agitate your faith. You know
Yep. Need to go to work. Yo, man, your money might be low. Or if you
exactly.
get a nigga, he get a flat tire. Oh, right by the tire shop or something like, and then it'd be cheap on top of that or something. Like, it'll
Exactly.
work out more for them because they're of this world. So say they ain't got to try for them niggas, but for us, hey man, his goal is to knock us out the truth. So it's gonna be things that's like, man, it's like, damn. You could like in this truth, you're gonna feel like, man, I can't win for nothing in this truth. All right, that's exactly how it's supposed to feel. That's mean you're doing something right. But that's what's gonna come with it. That's why you have to sit it down first and count the cost because these are things you're going to deal with. When you serve the Lord, that's a whole bunch of suffering. Now, give or take, don't get me wrong. Lord does blesses us here and there. But as Elder Kazak says, man, I heard him say, he said, man, you're gonna have more lows than highs. Just being honest, right? You're gonna have your highs here and there, but you're gonna have more lows. And it sucks. Don't get me wrong, it sucks. But what Hebrews 2:10, right? How the captain of our salvation was made perfect through suffering. So these sufferings are here to make us perfect, aka complete. So when that time comes, guess what? The Lord gonna see his men, his elect, with that law, with the ones that have been signed and crying for the abominations, as it says in Ezekiel 9:4, right? Because why else they gonna be signed and crying? They're going through it here, man. They hate the wickedness here, and they're going through it here. So it's like them. They're the only ones gonna be signed and crying. Everybody else gonna be chilling. Oh, who cares? I got a flat. Who cares that my car messed up? You just get it fixed. or whatnot. It just works out a lot smoother for them. When does it, it don't always go that way, to be honest, you know. But we go ahead and get back in this First Corinthians 10:13.
So I'm gonna finish it out. This is First Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There has no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh Bashim Shah is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape that ye may be able to bear it.
So, in other words, that the Lord knows what you can handle. All right, He knows what you can handle, and He's not going to push you past that point. Brothers like to use the analogy of working out. If your bench press is your max is like 225, man, the Lord ain't finna put 226 or 230. He's not finna put 315. He's not finna do that to you, right? But He will put that 225, and it's really gonna be like that in Jacob's trouble, right? So He's gonna put stuff on you that you can handle. Right, and he says, and what it says, who will not, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. Sometimes the Lord will give you a way out, and sometimes that way out is for you to go through it and endure it. He'll just give you the strength to endure it, whatever it is. You know, it's tough, but like, hey man, hey, the Lord's with us, bro. All right, it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the movie, man. Right?
And that's
Because
what the Lord told us.
my bad, you got it, bro. Go ahead, bro. You got it. I got
Nah,
going
my
on.
bad. I ain't wanna cut you off. My bad. You got it.
Kind because I was gonna say, um, how all pretty much, how all the sufferings that we're going through. Thanks, I ain't gonna lie, I low key forgot, bro. You got it.
Slacky, man, that's my fault, man. I'm Slacky, that's my fault.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that what
you
the Lord told Paul. He told Paul that my grace is sufficient for thee.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So just like you saying, like the Lord gonna make a way out, and sometimes the way out is just go through it. But at the end of the day, you still have what? You still had a strong tower. So that's our way out. We still got the strong tower. Whether the Lord have it to where you just got to go through it, or He actually like have something happen. But at the end of the day, He's gonna make provision for us as long as we keep our faith in that strong tower. So He's gonna make a way, but it's all dependent upon your faith in Him.
Yeah,
As we go through the particular things, and it's like the priest said, this is part of the walk. The Lord put us here, and we undergoing His hell, but we ain't undergoing His hell with no hope. You see, we here undergoing as hell, and the hope is going to give us that push to have us undergo it, as the priest quoted the Hebrews 12. You know, the author and finisher of our faith, Yahweh Shai, he was only able to make it through due to the fact of what? Him hoping. That's in the what is it called? I think you looking for that's in the well, you said hope for the wide. Yeah, that's in the apocrypha.
I'm tripping, bro. Yeah, it is.
That's in the it's in the
I was
apocrypha.
like,
I don't know
dang.
what I think it's second address, but it's in the apocrypha. It said we all suffer the straight things. You know, you can pull it if you want. Well, I pull it for you actually.
I already
But like
got
I
it.
was saying, Yahweh Shai, he's he the author and finisher of our faith, and
Mhm.
that's the spirit Yahweh Shai was in. I'm gonna read it for you though. This is Second Ezra chapter 7, verse 18. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for the wide. For they have done wickedly, have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly, bro. Just furthering your point, man. You know how, like, Brand, hey, we're gonna suffer. We all suffering the same things, but the only difference is with the elect, they're gonna hope for the wide. In other words, their end is full of hope, right? Where for these 2/3, their end is full of despair, right? Which is hopeless. They're gonna be completely hopeless because they putting all their eggs in this place. When we put all our eggs in Yahweh Shion Shai, we understand that there's a better world coming. That, oh yeah, the things that we're going through, there's a purpose for it. All right, it's not just, just because we are serving the Lord and we just since we serve the Lord we get to suffer. No, it's reasons behind it. Because what we're doing right now, when you serving the Lord, you're already taking shots already. That drink, all right, that cup of suffering. Where for everybody else, they gonna have to drink it straight down with no chasers. Yeah, the Lord, He give us chasers, man. Right? You might go a period of time without a woman. He'll throw you a bone here and there. That's a chaser right there for the drink. You know. So we're able to suffer these straight things, right? And hope for the why, man. So we have hope at the end of the day. Where for everybody else, they're not gonna have that hope. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say on that. Unless you want to say something else.
No, you got it. Actually, I think you didn't you have a precept because I got a couple. I got one.
Yeah, you can pull your precept, whatever you got, bro.
Um, Damn, shit, not
It's
fucking. Could you get? I wanted to get. I wanted you to get John 4:34.
4 and
Because
30.
we mentioned Hebrews 12, right? And when you look at the example, that's what it was all about. Yahweh Shai was all about finishing the work of the Father.
Yeah, bro.
And when
That's
you read that
good.
in John, you read that in John 17:4. What did Yahweh Shai say? Yahweh Shai was like, Father, I did what you asked me to do on earth. Could you now restore me to the glory that I had with thee in the beginning? So that's what it's all about. Is finishing this work so we could be restored back to the glory that we had with the Lord in the beginning. Lord willing, we be those men. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Getting back to that point. But in order for us to get back to that point, we got to fight the good fight of faith. We got to finish our course. We got to finish the work. So this is John 4:34. This is red letter. As you
Yep.
see, Yahweh Shah speaking. It says Yahweh Shah said unto them, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. You see, that was Yahweh Shah's MO. He was all about finishing the work of the Lord. You see, and that's what it's all about. When we come to this understanding, we start to build this house. It's all about finishing building the house. That's the same mindset when you go to work. When you go to work, it's all about finishing out the shift so you can get paid. I gotta finish out the shift so I can get my money. You know, that's how it is with the Lord. When it comes to the Lord ain't gonna reward us until we finish the work. You see, once we finish the work, we shall receive a reward. And what he sent us an example. Yahweh came down on the earth. He finished the work of the Lord, and what happened? He received a reward. And it also gives you insight on that walk. He wasn't focused on the hill. He was focused on the reward. He was focused on I'm gonna get paid at the end of this. Just giving you a comparison. I'm gonna get paid at the end of this. You know, that's what he was focused on in Hebrews 12, the author and finisher of our faith. The joy set before him, he endured the cross. You see? So as we undergoing our now we're in the same position of Yahweh Shai. Now we're being sent out to do work. Yahweh Shai sent us out. Like he said, he sent forth the apostles last. Apostle mean to be sent away. You know what I'm saying? So we've been sent out to do the work of the Lord. And Yahweh Shai showed us example. He said, okay, when you're doing the work of the Lord, when you're submitting, you don't get paid until you finish. It's all about finishing. Whether the finish comes earlier than certain brothers checked out a little early. Certain brothers are already in the spirit world right now. You know, some haven't, some still here. But at the end of the day, it's all about finishing the work. As a matter of fact, that one scripture that goes into them, they all laboring and they got the penny.
Oh, the penny. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
they labored and they got the penny.
I don't know exactly where it's at, but I know what you're talking
Well,
about.
but nevertheless, you got that parable going to that, in which that was, about them scribes and Pharisees being wicked. Pretty much talking about how like, the ones that came in before, they got a penny, but they've been there longer than the other ones that came in later. But at the end of the day, what they was laboring to receive a reward. As the scriptures say, it says it'd be many, but laborers are few. You see, so as we're laboring in the work of the Lord, Yahushua gave the example that you don't get rewarded until you finish the work. So it's all about finishing. I got another one too if you don't got one.
You can bring it up, bro. Wait, did you want that penny thing, or you just quoted it?
No, 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 I just quoted it. I got another one too. Could you get Hebrews 10? Hebrews 10 and like 30.
Or
Let me
five.
see. So
No,
what?
my bad. It's like I said 35, but I don't think that's it.
I mean 35, you can kind of start there. That's a good starting point.
Dang it, let me
Well,
see.
we can start at 35 and read down.
Yeah. All right. This is Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 35. It says, cast not away therefore your confidence, which hath great recompense of reward.
Exactly. Cast not away your confidence, your faith, your faith. What is the gift? The gift of the faith. What does it give us? It gives us insight on that vision. The writer scripture say, "Where there's no vision, the people perish." So if you stay focused upon that vision, upon receiving that reward, you're gonna keep fighting. You
Yep.
see. But once you lose track of that vision, that's you casting away your confidence, man. I don't, once you lose track of that vision, that reward that the Lord's going to give us, Now it's going to cause you to what? To draw back on the perdition, as this verse is going to go into, or the latter part of this chapter. It's going to cause you to put down the plow, because now you're not focused on the reward no more. You're not focused about getting paid. You like in your head, you like, fuck this shit, man. I ain't signed up for this.
No, for real.
But clearly you didn't read what you were signing up for. But that's what it goes to. Do not cast away your confidence. Because Yahushua, he showed an example. He didn't cast away his confidence. What did it lead to? Him being at the right side of the Father, back at that state that he would have with the Father before the foundation of the earth. And we're trying to do the same thing. We're trying to get back to that state that we had with the Son, I mean with the Father and his Son before the foundation of the earth. But in order for us to do that, we got to finish the work.
Yes,
And
sir.
us focusing on that vision, that reward, that's gonna that's gonna give us that push to finish the work. We're
Yeah,
not gonna cast it away because we want that reward.
yeah. Shit, you already pretty much quoted it in that Hebrews 12:2, because that's exactly how the Lord endured what he had to go through. He said by focus on the joy that was set before him, and he endured. He endured despising the shame and whatnot. Right. So it's with us, and he's our example. He's the example of what how a man should walk on earth. Right. So if he focused on the joy that was set before him and it got him through literally what he had to go through, and he went through the worst of all of us, how much more us? Right? There's just something, the driving force to keep us going, the constant reminder what we fighting for, the kingdom. All right, so we just keep enduring the trials, tribulations, misfortunes, shortcomings. You just keep enduring it, right? Because you ultimately, you don't come in this thing just to do it halfway and then stop. No, we come in this thing and with the goal to finish it, and with us finishing it is enduring it to the end, right? Whether your end comes sooner, which is you like, all right, you might, as the brother said, man, pretty much, give up the ghost here, right? Or all the way to the end of now, to where the Lord, hey, he delivers you from this place, you know. But yeah, did you
That's
want more in Hebrews?
yeah, kind of. That's why when you go into ancient time, like it's a like brother said all the time, like you're not supposed to be getting paid every week, like at the end of the week. You really get paid that day because you get paid for what you finished that day. that's why that's why I was like that. You get paid for what you finished that day. So let's say you on a job, right? You working, you get paid for what you finished that day. Say you was putting up I just say you was doing the foundation. The portion of the foundation you finish, you get paid for that. Then you finish the rest of the foundation, you get paid for the rest. Like you get paid for what you finished. That's how the Lord is. He gonna pay us for when we finish. We ain't finished yet. We still working. We ain't finished. But yeah, you keep going on that because the main point is like the last two verses.
Okay. All right, back in Hebrews chapter 10, and I'm tripping. Okay, in verse 36, it says, for ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye might receive the promise.
Read that again, Baba Shah.
Okay. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 36, it says, for ye have need of patience, that
You
after.
have need of patience.
Mhm.
You gotta be patient, long suffering. We have need of it. We have need of patience, right? Keep going because the Lord, He ain't just going. It's a we being proven. You know, it ain't just you woke up. I'm good. I'm an Israelite. I'm gonna be saved. No, you got to be proven. You see, so we have need of patience because within that patience, that's why I could say, um, they ain't left my mind. But pretty much, you know what I'm saying. When we undergoing these things, dang, it's like it left my mind, man.
Talking about like
Shit.
James? You talking about James, aren't you?
Yeah, James. Yeah, the water James. Yeah, speaks about how to let patience have a perfect work.
Yeah.
Through this patience, because the process of this patience or this long suffering, because that's what patient goes into. That's the building, trying field of growing that muscle of faith, which is essential. Because we just read that if you don't have if you don't have a lot of confidence in that vision, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna cause you to not receive the reward. And Hebrews 4 speaks about that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't mingled with faith. Therefore, they came short of the promises. We don't want to be in that position.
Yeah.
You got it out.
Okay. Back in Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 37, it says,
My
for
bad. Read 36. Read after you have done the will of the Lord. Well,
okay,
I said
verse
so when you went in
36.
Yeah, 36. I'll read it. You good.
All right,
It
give me.
says,
All right, you can read it. Hold on, real quick. You got it.
now it's like, and I was gonna read that little part right there. I was, you good. It says that after, because I want to get this to it says that after you receive, I mean, after you have done the will of the Lord, see, the key point, after you have done the will of the Lord. So we not receiving nothing until we do the will of the Lord. Once the will of the Lord is done, then the reward comes. Because it says you might receive a promise. You see? And it said might. So if you're not of the elect, you ain't getting it. You gotta be an elect because you're not of the elect. You ain't gonna receive it. That's why it says might, because some people gonna be thinking they doing the will of the Lord and think they finished, but nigga, you ain't finished. You ain't getting the reward, man. You see? But we keep going to verse. Really, we could. I mean, you could jump down to verse 38, and that'll be. I think that's it. Or what? 38 and 39.
Guys,
Or
like, yeah, I'm kind of doing something, so you
no,
gonna.
I
I
got
mean,
it.
I'll
I got it.
scroll
I jump
through it,
down.
but you got to read it.
No, I got it.
Okay.
This is Hebrews chapter 10. And we jump down to verse 39. It says, now the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. And the elder Yashawamba, Jim Dallas, he just went into looking back, you know what I'm saying? And what is representation of, your mind, where your mind is at. Remember Lot's wife. That's an example unto the man and the woman. You see, because Lot wife turned back and she was turned to a pillar of salt. So the Lord got rid of her ass because her mind was focused on what she had and not focused on the world to come. Was focused on the tangible things she had. You see? So we don't want to be in that spirit of drawing back, putting down the plow, stopping. Because if we do that, that's gonna lead us under destruction. So I want to get that word draw back. It's in the Greek. It says hoop, hoopos teleo, to lilo. I think I'm saying it. Hoopos telilo, and it says to withdraw, let down, lower. Let me see. To withdraw. See, we don't want to be in that spirit of withdrawing. We want to finish because if we withdraw, we ain't gonna receive the reward. We
Yep.
don't want to be in that spirit of withdrawing because the Lord said if you withdraw, his soul will have no pleasure in you, which means he gonna kill your ass. Which mean if you don't finish, if you come to do the work of the Lord and you don't finish it, like the priest mentioned earlier, man, it would have been better as if you even not even came into this understanding, right? So I'm gonna read verse 39. It says, "But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition. Perdition means destruction, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul." So we're not in that spirit. We're gonna be those men. The elect is not gonna be in the spirit of withdrawing. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be in the spirit of seeking salvation. The spirit they're gonna be in the spirit of Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? Following after the example of Yahweh Shai. That we just read in what? That Luke, I mean, not that Luke, that John 4 and 34. My meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish it. That's going to be the spirit of the elect because they're allotted to receive the reward. The Lord already has it set up that way. And we want to be in that stead. So we, as scripture say, put on as the elect. Will the elect finish the work? That's what the scriptures say. We want to finish the work, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Apostle Kai, he always talks about, you know what I'm saying, do your videos, do the work of the Lord, fight, you know, finish the course. Because it's all about finishing. Because at the end of the day, if you don't finish, there's no reward for you. But you got
Can
it out.
can. Yeah, I got this Second Timothy. If you didn't have nothing else.
Now you got. Did you ever read? Did you read Matthew 24 already?
Yeah, that was like the first scripture we read. 24:13. Yeah, that was the first one we read.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Con,
did to the
con,
end. Yeah, that was the first
con.
one. What you call? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Second Timothy. Yeah, we get this Second Timothy chapter 4 and verse 7. All right, it says, "I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith." All right, this is talking about this is Apostle Paul speaking. Right, we want to come in that same stead right there. Right, we want to be able to say, "Oh, we have finished the course and we have kept the faith." That's the goal. You have to keep the faith in this. All right. As it says in what Proverbs, I think 24, how it goes to a just man that follows 7 times and rises up again. Sirach 14 and 2, right? Blessed is the man who conscience has not condemned him and fallen from the hope in the Lord, right? So you have to, it's really it's a constant battle, just keeping the faith and just ultimately just to keep going, right? Fighting that good fight, right? Because every day, I mean, you got to fight, right? And if you don't know that, then of course you're gonna be like, oh, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't know all these came with these sheet. Man, ever since I was, it's like made me think about that one dude. I forgot his name. You're like, damn. Ever since he said I was a Hebrew Israelite. Nobody like, bro.
About
I
that
said I'm
dreadhead nigga,
Israelite,
man.
huh?
You talking about that dreadhead nigga?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that.
dread. He was talking. Yeah, I forgot, bro. I never even heard of the guy, but Elder Apostle Hart had made a video on him, and I think countless other brothers did too. But yeah, that dreadhead nigga.
Yeah, basically how we're talking about like with the when he like kept let him be known that like he was a Hebrew Israelite. It's like he couldn't get in certain job offers. There's certain things he couldn't do, and people would just turn him down just simply off of him saying he's a Hebrew Israelite. So he was like, "Oh, so now I'm disassociated with because I just found out that there's so much wickedness in it." I'm like, "Yeah, bullshit. You trimming
Hey,
your
but
ways to
even
love." You say something?
no, my bad. It's like you finish your point. I was gonna say something after you finish your point.
Yeah, I was saying, you trim your ways to seek love. Ultimately, it just shows how you love this place because that's someone right there that doesn't understand what comes with, serving the Lord. You know, just simply saying you're a Hebrew Israelite shuts a lot of doors right there. Now we're not going around just to our jobs and stuff saying, oh yeah, we're Hebrew Israelites. No, there's a time and place for that. That's why we got camp days, right? We still have to walk in wisdom, as it says in Colossians, it's either the third or fourth chapter how it goes into walking wisdom towards them that are without, right? So we still got to move a certain way, but there is things that come with serving the Lord, man, right? If you and it's really the world is just gonna come against you completely. Well, John the 15th chapter, you read that, right? If they persecuted me, they're gonna persecute you. The servant's not greater than his master. Things of that nature. That's all what comes with serving the Lord. So you have to sit here and think like, all right, are you willing? Are you ready to go through all of that to suffer ultimately for everlasting life? You know. But you say you about to say something, bro?
Nah, you got it. You actually said exactly what I'm gonna say. So you got it. That was spirit.
kind. But yeah. So we wanna be able to fight that good fight and ultimately finishing this course. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and finish reading this out. Second Timothy chapter 4. I'm gonna read 7 again and lead it to 8. It says, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Henceforth, there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing. So there's a reward that comes with finishing this, man. Fighting that good fight, finishing your course, keeping the faith, bro. There's a crown up there waiting for you, a crown of righteousness and a new body. Because the Lord, He gonna give us a new body. We ain't gonna be up here in these bodies with that crown. Nah, Lord's gonna give us a whole new body where the spirit and that I don't want to say flesh, but the new flesh, I guess you could say, right? We'll be able to dwell together in unison. Because right now, the flesh and the spirit, man, it's a constant battle every day. You got to fight the urges, the things that you want to do, and it's all because of the flesh. Romans 7th chapter 7 and 14 on down. Paul breaks the flesh down to a T of what you're going to go through, right? And that's what you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, let alone with other people. But your biggest battle is you, you know. But just understanding that, bro. Like when you come to the truth, you're going to suffer. Like that's basically what we've been going through, going into this whole lesson. Like what comes with you being in the truth is suffering, but that's the gateway to everlasting life. You have to suffer in order to get that everlasting life, right through your Shai ultimately. You know, because this place is wicked, and if you depart yourself from it, as I got in Isaiah 59:15, you're an enemy to everybody now. So what you think is going to happen? So just putting that in newcomer minds to understand, like, bro, like this ain't something that is just some kind of fad or just kind of trend. That's what I'm thinking of, just a trend. No, bro, this is a life or death situation, right? And people who just come to the truth and just fall out. You're like, man, fuck it, man. They didn't realize what the hell they done did. Ultimately, it's predestined for that to happen. But we're just saying, through the power of spirit, yeah, how about you on shot, right? So you got anything to say, or you good? Oh, I guess.
Man, what's that scripture that says you pretty much you wisdom demands are too hard for thee.
Too high. I think it's
Yeah,
that wisdom.
it's the wisdom of Solomon. Try to look it up, man. Google acting retarded.
Let me see. Uh,
Let me see. Slack, I can bear with us real quick.
Dang, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I don't remember where it's at either. And I know
I'm
it's in
trying to
the
see if I can look
apocrypha.
it up, but it's kind of like
It might be
it
like in
gets
a
popped.
different version, like not the KJV. It might be like in the GNT, maybe I don't know.
It probably is in the GNT. You probably right. It's probably in the
Yeah, I
GNT.
think I found. I think I might have found it. It'd be Ciroc 6 though. Here it goes. I found it. Ciroc 6 and 20 in the GNT. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of get that on a bigger screen if I can.
Like the water. Because that's the you don't want to be in that spirit, man. You don't want to be because you got to remember. Paul said what he's a prisoner of the Lord. You see, so we have the right now. What we're
See.
doing is we're taking off the the chains of darkness and we putting on the chains of light. You know what I mean? And the reason I wanted to use that, I wanted to word it that way, chains of light, because this is a chain of light. These chains of light, they're going to bring forth blessings, but it's a chain. You're bound. You got to walk a certain way, being in this flesh, and ultimately you got to because if you're going to finish the work, but it's a scripture speak about that. Take heed to how you build. So it ain't just building and okay, I'm building, Lord. See, it's a particular way you got to build too. It's a certain way. The scripture say that if he strives, you got to strive lawfully. So we got
Mhm.
to strive, fight for the truth unto death, but we got to do it lawfully. We can't cut corners because Yahweh shot and cut corners. You see, so we got to finish the work, but it ain't just half-assed. I finished though. No, you gotta do it correctly.
Yeah, just doing it
You
any
got it.
so like just doing it any kind of way, which is these other groups, because these other groups they're doing it just any kind of way. No, you have to serve the Lord a certain way, aka the correct way. Let me go ahead and get this for you. This is Sirach chapter 6 and verse 20 in the GNT. It says, undisciplined people finds wisdom demands too hard and don't have enough determination to meet them.
Exactly. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be that undisciplined person. That's what if you want to what did your house I say? He said if you want to be my disciple means being disciplined. He said you must hate your mother. You must be able to forsake all these particular things and follow me and be obedient. You see, be disciplined. Those are the demands of wisdom. You see, because Yahweh Shai is the embodiment of wisdom. Those are the demands of wisdom. Deny yourself. And what you deny yourself, what? Finishing it up, man. Don't half-ass. Don't half-ass serve me. Don't bring no half-ass sacrifice. Romans 12. We giving up our body as a living sacrifice. Don't be giving up no blemish lamb. The Lord wants your fullest. You see? And with that, that's gonna lead to us receiving salvation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like the priest is going to, I just wanted to add that point, as the priest going to, man, we gotta finish this, but also you gotta make sure you're doing it lawfully. Cause and I be working on Esau shit. I didn't finish shit in that shit all out of it ain't even looking right. But I finished. man, Esau still pay you for that shit. But the Lord not gonna do that. The Lord don't operate that. He ain't gonna half-ass the Lord and expect a blessing. You sow bountifully, you gonna reap bountifully. You sow sparingly, the Lord gonna sparingly help your ass. And sparingly ain't gonna look too well in Jacob troubles. It's gonna lead to dead. In that case, you're gonna be dead. But that's all I had. You got it.
Yeah. Uh, I was gonna read that. I ain't gonna lie, I changed my mind. I changed my mind. Yeah, I changed my mind. Um, that's right. Here it goes. It's probably the last one I got that I can think of right now. And if you got any more, bring them out. This is Second Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 17. It says, "For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory." Right? So, the Lord, He looks at this as a light affliction, right? But because He says light affliction, that doesn't mean it's going to feel like that to the flesh, right? The flesh, flesh amplifies everything, right? So whatever you're going through is going to be amplified. It's going to seem worse than what it actually is. But when you're really just going through, really pretty much nothing, to be honest, you're still able to walk, you're still able to talk, you can eat, your body functions normally, you know. So, with that being said, it's just, it's light in comparison to what we're going to receive. That's what I meant to say. It's like that's what I meant to say. Because the afflictions that we're going through in comparison to what we're going to receive is really light, you know. So if you understand that you're going to reap such a great reward, let alone a reward that you don't deserve, right? Because Scripture goes into how is the Lord good of pleasure to give you the kingdom of heaven. Shit, if it's His good pleasure, that's mean, man, we didn't earn that, right? Hell, like what Ephesians 2:8, for by grace grace are you saved through faith, right? So with that being said, it's just like, man, the worst that we're doing now, serving the Lord now is really not even enough. But yet the Lord still is going to reward us beyond measure. So that's the good thing that comes with this, man. Right? That's the good thing comes. Imagine. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Imagine you work a job that's, for example, cutting grass. I'm gonna say that you go cut some grass, which is a pretty simple job. You cut the grass, and you did okay. But you could have did better. But yet the owner, say he's a rich eater, might be like, here, you could take $500. You got rewarded way beyond than what you deserved. That's exactly what the Lord is doing for us. Because it's really the intent behind it. With us trying, even though we can't really do it in these bodies, the Lord's like, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna get you right. So that's what comes with also serving the Lord, man. That hope right there, of hoping that, bro, we're gonna be changed, right? Hey, we're gonna be able to call ourselves friends of Yahweh Shai, man. Like, come on, man. The closest ones are that are to Yahweh Shai. Wherefore, everybody else is not gonna really be able to say that, or at least, well, the 2/3 they're gonna be in too, but the ones that's gonna be really close is the 144,000. Then the 1/3, then the 2/3 is gonna be the ones that couldn't get right, and you don't want to be that because you're gonna walk around with your head down in the kingdom. All right. So yeah, man, just finish what you started, man. Right, through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashem Shah, because that's the only way you're gonna be able to do it. Trusting in His might and not our own. I think that's what Ephesians 6 and like 11, I think 6 and 11 to 10. But yeah, man, that's really all I had. Through the spirit. So, yeah, Walker, you got anything?
Nah, you got it out.
God. All right. So, hey, Lord willing, y'all was edified, man. Just finish what you started. All right. Stay keeping that medicine strong, as the Apostle Paul say. Prayer. Right. Pray to the Lord for the things you need. But anyways, yeah, Lord willing, y'all was edified. I mean it all by saying Kal Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time I say, Shalom, Yasharala.